Hey guys, welcome back to some more Outland. We're still in the Underworld, but we're coming up to the end of it actually very soon. In fact, in this part, we'll get through the rest of the Underworld.
Just a random out of the blue question. How many videos can a playlist on YouTube hold?
200.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm coming close to that limit. Because I actually have a whole playlist for the collab videos, and I think I'm about to reach that limit soon.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's the problem when you put a lot of videos in a combined playlist for that reason. And by the way, you don't have to go the way I'm going, I just kind of forget where I need to go for a second. But
that's the thing, Ken, because sometimes I have moments where I'm not sure if I want to make a new playlist for, you know, just the parts of a certain playthrough here I've been in.
Yeah.
Or whether I want to just make a playlist for all of the playthroughs I was just in bits for.
I was thinking originally the same thing when we first started doing all this stuff, but then I was realizing it's going to be a mess to keep up with. The playlist will have a lot of limitations, and it would be just probably better just to link it if I really wanted to, and just share it with people.
Christ, I cannot believe I'm getting close to being in over 200 videos.
Yeah, well, I know some other people do that too. Like, I don't watch this Let's Play, but I noticed on one of the channels I'm watching, Steven Plays, he had a Let's Play that's already over 200 parts. So because of that, I had to create a new playlist.
Well, I have one guy, his name is Necroscope 86, I think. And he has, like, actually a few LPs that have over 200 parts.
Yeah.
But he's the kind of guy who uploads, like, 5 videos a day. So.
Yes,
yeah, so
I do remember when you showed us some of this stuff.
I remember the guy because of that reason.
Really evil.
Yeah, no, that puzzle takes a lot of time to get good at. But there are worse ones coming up later, I think in actually the same world. Because there's one puzzle later where you have to do all that kind of stuff, but then there's like all these different spikes that you have to worry about that move with your color, so if you're blue, the blue ones will be up. And that's really hard to keep track of. Those are the ones I just hate, when they do those spikes with all these energy orbs coming at you, it's just not fun. It's just not fun.
I think I'll just create another collab videos playlist and just call it collab videos number 2 or something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I would probably do that if you're going to continue that trend.
That's a lot of collab.
Yeah. Well, then again, it's a lot of videos, like not just the LPerLeague, for example. It could be like on my channel, on Marley's channel, or just any people's
fair
place.
enough, fair enough.
When it's like that, it feels like really fast. When it's
That
us, it feels
playlist has
like
literally
fast.
every video that I've collabed in, if I'm with somebody, so...
Yeah, even with your old channel. So,
yeah.
it just kind of stayed the same.
That took forever to add all those videos there, by the way.
Yeah, I imagine so.
I can imagine so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you weren't steadily uploading them, you were putting them all back in again.
And it's hard to transfer videos from one playlist to the other if you're on a different channel. Especially if those videos you're transferring are from different channels.
I've luckily never had to do that.
Yeah, same here though, but from what I've seen, it's just a pain to do. The only time I actually had to kind of do that was when I was trying to download all the videos for the Sonic Adventure 2 race I did back in the winter break. And that just took a longer time to do. That, and also I couldn't make...
Wait, your winter or our winter?
My winter.
Oh.
Yeah, but it took me a lot longer, mainly also because I wanted to keep the playlist private. And in order to do that, then everyone would be able to see it if I made it public or unlisted, and if I kept it private, I couldn't download the videos. So I had to use a separate channel for that purpose, and have the channel hidden. A little more technical, but at the same time, I know what you mean.
I don't know why, but I really love the sound effect the hearts make when you pick them up.
It sounds very satisfying, actually.
Yeah, it does.
The sound effects in this game are very pleasing to the ear.
Yeah, the sound effects, well done.
I'd say this game
Whoever
goes
did them,
incredibly well in the sound department.
Yeah, this kind of game, from what I played a little bit of it, and, like surround sound, like sound, it sounds really good. It really does.
Why do you suppose they went with the whole silhouette art style though?
I think it's also
because
not
it's sort
just
of tribal art.
Yeah,
because it fits with the legend a lot better, I think.
I think it's
and
like
I think that actually adds a really nice aesthetic to it.
Yeah, besides making things easier
Honestly,
to
I
see,
think
because things are hard to see in this game at times. Besides making things easier to see, it adds a different art style. And for this kind of game, it really works.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But I would imagine if they didn't do the silhouette look, this would be even harder to kind of see because, well, it'd be blending in
Because
even
things don't
easier.
pop as easily, exactly.
Yeah.
They don't stick out.
The bright, vibrant colors, the nice cartoony-like style for certain things, it just makes things pop a little more. So it's easier to see and keep track of.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at the patterns of like certain like walls or something, and just like that bridge-looking structure background thingy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That thingy. Yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But, yeah, if you look at the screenshots that you unlock collecting the Mark of the Gods in this game, you really see the extra detail they have. Oh, this is the part where I would say better to tank it, because that's really hard to time. You can do it, it's just, it's faster to tank. Especially if you have the
So
hearts
at one
for it.
point this game was going to have a lot more detail.
No, I don't really think so. The images you have in your image gallery, it's just they're higher resolution pictures of what you're seeing in the backgrounds mostly, and obviously artwork.
Obviously.
It was still gonna look probably the same. It's just that you have higher quality images to look at in the image selection there. That's about it.
I mean, if you think about it, it's a little bit like the stuff that you unlock for finishing Okami.
Yeah, exactly.
Because one of the models that you get is of a really high resolution render of, you know, a regular white wolf for a skin
Yeah.
for Amaterasu, and that was the original graphic style they were going to go with for the game, but then they took the more painting style approach, and the hero is done.
Yeah, well,
That
this
was
is
But again, that's the same
first
kind
death,
of thing.
So this kind of shows what happens when you
Oh
die.
my god, that is so weird.
Yeah, when you die, it fades out and it resets you to your last checkpoint with whatever money you collected and whatever artifact you got too. So if you didn't grab an
I thought my
upgrade before the checkpoint, you have to buy it again, which gets annoying.
Jesus, I thought my transitions were weird.
That wasn't a transition, that was the game.
Yeah, I know, that is still weird.
I know, I wanted to point that out.
I think that's
there.
what he meant indeed.
Yeah. No, I know that's what you meant, I just wanted to clarify that because that does look like an actual transition. So it's best to clarify it. That's why when we end the videos, we just fade to black for it because the game does a good enough transition to fade it out as is.
And Ken, when we get to Rayman 2, some of the transitions.
Yeah, the game's transitions are... I think the N64 transitions to the different parts of the level were better than PC. Because it faded out, but then PC, it's just like a big loading screen. It didn't have a good transfer.
Level of weird transitions.
As in the stuff I'm going to edit in. Because I am going to edit stuff in with transitions, oh boy.
Well,
but,
it's funny how you mentioned
Rayman 2 are just very generic for the most
So
part.
apparently I'm not the only one taking inspiration from Lester into transitions then.
But
don't worry, I
really.
was... Yeah.
But it's funny how you
Let's
mentioned
just look
Fairly
at
Odd
what you
Parents of
started.
Rayman because we talked about that when we were in Matt's Rayman 2 stuff, so now I'm half expecting the same joke to be
Crimson
brought
Chin,
back.
right?
Yes.
Well,
Wait,
We compare Clark to Crimson Chin because of his big chin.
I'm more referring to the transitions where they have the characters' heads pop in and they're going blah, 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 and there was like one
Like Batman transitions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was like one funny one where one of the characters' heads actually hits the screen and they're like, ow!
Yeah, that's
I
hard to
remember
actually do.
that. Yes, I remember that one.
That's hard to do. I would love to do that, but at the same time, to do that portion of it, having them hit the screen, I would need to be an animator.
It's actually not that hard.
Well, to get it the way I would want it, I would need to probably be an animator.
Yeah, you'd have to get the zoom right, stop the background, and then just change the image.
Yeah.
And that would be the minimalist way of doing it.
Yeah.
I'm rather tempted to now, but I think that's going to put in more effort than actually editing the rest of the video, so...
Yeah, it's better to do what you can than what you can't. So you can actually produce the videos in time for people.
If it takes longer than the actual thing itself would, then it's not always worth it.
Yeah, that's why originally when I
Not
was doing
always,
that Sonic Adventure 2
sometimes
race, it was going to have way more edits than it actually had, but I just did not have the time. Same for that Metroid Fusion race. Actually, people even asked if I was going to have like trackers for it, and I just could not do it because I didn't have the time. I would have if I had more time.
I want to do a race sometime.
Yeah. I would love to do a race again, because those are always fun.
Races are good. definitely.
It's just
wanna
a
do
pain to
race
set up.
sometime.
And also the
Yeah.
edit. But besides that, they're
In
fun.
fact, Matt and me have one coming up soon when
I'm
it gets
still
the time
I'm still
to
wanting to do a
work on it,
Link to the Past or Mega Man race or something.
Yeah, I was still thinking maybe we should
It's
try to
always
do that Link to the
it's always
Past.
Zelda or Mega Man with you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, those are my top 2 favorite franchises. So
Fair enough.
Anyone want to
I
race
will
Final
not
Fantasy
fault you
1?
for it, sir.
No.
Jeez. Which one you gonna race? The NES
Actually,
or the Game
it'd
Boy
be really
Advance? Please
interesting.
say the Game Boy.
believe me, I don't have many games I'm very good at speedrunning. So
Yeah, actually, funny thing enough, some of the best games I am speedrunning are Zelda and Mega Man.
Thing is,
Although
if
Mario
you're both
64
not
is
very
good.
good at the game, it can still work out as a race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I raced.
well, maybe if it was
5
blind, I
racing,
guess.
yeah,
But
so not
I think
racing.
it'd be more effective if it was a blind race. So that's the thing.
It really depends on the game.
Blind race.
It really depends on the game. If it's very easy to understand, yes. If you don't understand it at all, no. I've actually
Yeah.
seen people actually try to, in the speedrunning community, race Twilight Princess on the Wii. And since speedrunners always use the GameCube version, they're not even close to familiar with the Wii version, and they just all rage quit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that idea.
I wouldn't
did
try
try
doing
Donkey
that for
Kong
that
Country
reason.
2. I did try Donkey Kong Country 2 race at one point. Well, keep in mind the key word here is try.
Yeah, that
But
never
recording-
turned out. And this was the puzzle I was
the
talking about last part.
recording-
That's really annoying to deal with.
But the recording never worked out because the sound audio is freaking weird, and we all got our asses handed to us easily because the one person who played it with us, that happened to be his favorite game of all time. So you could
Yeah,
probably
he
see
knew how the
that
speed
turned
ran.
out.
And he kind of held the world record for it for a period of time. So
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, it's
races like that.
that it doesn't work when you're racing someone who had a record.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's gonna
Did
happen.
you know about it in advance?
Yes.
Yes, and they still did it. So think about that. But I want to mention one thing about this room here. I have never really seen anyone make it through there without not taking damage, because those
Without
orbs.
not taking damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've never seen.
Well, taking any kind of damage at all, because those orbs, when you're
There-
going
there
left
we
and
go.
right, they're so close together. It's near impossible to make it past if you're on the wrong cycle, and it's even hard to get through a right cycle, where you can just jump through it when they're spread apart. So I never get through there without taking a hit. Never.
Do you know what would be actually? Do you know what would be a really interesting game to try and race?
What?
Earthworm Jim.
Oh yes, that'd be interesting.
Like the N64 version?
Oh
Oh
god,
no,
that'd be more interesting.
3D. I meant the original one on the SNES.
Oh.
Then you have the other person race the Genesis version just to troll with you.
No, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work though, because the Mega Drive version has one extra level.
Yeah, I
in
know, that's why I said that. They still beat you even on the wrong version.
it.
Like, wow, way to rub it in.
Granted, I think the tube race would just suck. But I think if it could be pulled off, that would be a very interesting game to race, definitely.
That would
Honestly,
be.
I'm more a fan of segmented races because they're usually a lot closer.
Yeah,
So as in you do a section at a time.
yeah.
Basically, yeah.
That
So
would
it
be
gives you
good.
more time to
it depends
prepare.
on how long
Like
the
doing
game-
Zelda per dungeon or something.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
I
would
was gonna
do.
say,
Like,
That is definitely an
it
interesting approach.
Or-
It depends on the game. Like if it's a short platformer, then by all means do the whole game. But if it's something long, like Zelda, for example, then yeah. But
yeah,
do the dungeon as a whole.
when
Unless of course it's linked to the.
And then
path,
just
but
see
it's
who wins the most of them, right?
when Matt and I raced Metroid Fusion, we did kind of do that way more segmented than you would normally do it, because we just kind of did a session every few areas. So we had like 2 or 3 different sessions, something like that. I mean, it's still kind of pretty much just a full run, if you think about it, but yeah, we break it up into different parts. And that's the best way to do things. I mean, that's how any Let's Player would want to do things.
So do you think the whole game run is a better approach or segmented?
It just really depends on the game, really, like we
Yeah,
were
it
saying.
does in the end depend on the game.
If it's a short game, better for a single segment, but if it's going to be a very long game, yeah, the segmented kind of race would be better.
Yeah.
Like an RPG as well. That would be
Yeah,
better
well,
for a
if you race
segment.
an RPG, you're pretty much mental.
Well, at the same time, have you seen speedruns of RPGs? They take it and pretty much say,
Yeah.
no battles, skip all cutscenes, and just go to the end.
Then again, I've seen, 15-minute speed runs of Ocarina of Time through, game breaking.
You know what's the funny thing about that now? The funny thing
there's
is,
60-hour RPGs that are beaten in like 6 hours. And it's like, huh?
now that you mention Ocarina of Time, actually the funny thing is in the speedrunning community, there's been a bigger thing found for it, not just for beating the game even faster, surprising enough. Now, technically, if you want to really be serious about it, you would probably own 3 different consoles for it. For doing any percent, which is pretty much just beating the game under half an hour, you would own this Chinese system called the IQ, which no one ever heard of until this year. For doing all dungeons, you would own the Wii Virtual Console version, and if you were doing a 100% run, you would own a Japanese N64. So you have 3 different systems just to run one game.
Good grief.
That shows dedication if you actually do
That doesn't
it.
sound fair.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know.
Which is why I'll just stick to one version.
I would never speedrun that game unless it was with friends.
I tried doing the any percent, that's really all I would do for Ocarina of Time, and good lord, that is hard. Mainly just because of that stupid wrong warp trick. That's like frame perfect kind of stuff, and when you don't understand how the frames work that fast, then yeah, you're not gonna have an easy time with it.
I'd do a minimalist run.
Yeah, I've done those before. Those
I've
are a
done,
little more
like,
enjoyable because you can comprehend it already.
Yeah.
I think I've beaten the game in a minimalist run twice. And this is not just going for 3 hard containers. It's just not going for anything unless you absolutely need it at all.
Yeah,
So,
I remember
Yeah.
I did a 3-heart run, the Master Quest version, which gave you a little more difficulty, especially because I'm not that familiar with Master Quest. So
Also, is it
does
me,
help.
or does this guy look like the freaking villain from Samurai Jack?
Yes.
Yes.
He looks like Haku. He totally does.
And the funny thing is, that's not a guy. That's a girl.
Yeah, I figured
So,
as much.
yeah. When you say that, it makes it actually even weirder.
So it's not a coup, it's a Kumi.
Yes.
But I'm Tish.
Plot twist.
So this is the part where we talked about races.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good topic of discussion.
It looks
definitely.
like a really fun boss fight.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just
Well,
really
it
difficult your
actually
first
does.
time.
Falling bosses can be really good in games.
When-
Provided
Again,
the background
probably
isn't
bit
nauseating.
Yeah.
overblended for my taste, but
When you first play this, that boss fight is a pain because you're always falling down. And each time you fall, you take a heart's worth of damage. So you lose a lot of hearts in the first time you play this because you're always falling.
Well, it's better than it being an insta-kill like most other games.
Yeah,
are,
most
so.
other games, if you just fall like that, you're dead. So it's better than those. But it's still really difficult for your first time. I remember when Matt was playing it, he kept on complaining about the priestess here because he was always dying and it took him a long time to get past it. Which I don't blame him. It's one of the more difficult bosses just for that falling factor and how crazy that second form gets.
Now that the High Priestess is gone.
But yep, that's the second world
that's
of
a
the
really
game.
cool etching.
And now we actually have the ability to warp between different areas we have visited. So these little orb things that we see throughout the different levels, that's kind of like the one to our right in this hub. We can warp to those
so we
once
have
we
a-
touch them.
So we have a
But why
hover.
would you want to do that?
It's really only useful for backtracking purposes. Like if you're going for all the Mark of the Gods, it's useful for that. And when you get to the final boss, they lock you out of going back the same way you came in, but they give you one of those teleporters, so if you want to leave, you need to use that. Which does help.
I get it.
Fair enough.
There's a
And why do
purpose
you
to it
always
then.
end the videos like that?
Hey, it's the best way to do it.
Indeed.
It's like ending at a save point. That's really what it is. You go through a door, you save.
It's always got this little mystical.
Hey, it's a good
Something that's
transition.
good.
We should probably end it now before we lose our train of thoughts even more. We'll see you guys in part 5.
Yeah.